The Electoral Commission in the Democratic Republic of Congo on Thursday morning declared Felix Tshisekedi the winner of the country's contentious presidential polls held last month. The announcement now sets the stage for the first peaceful transfer of power since the country gained independence in 1960. His main opponent, Martin Fayulu, has denounced the election results as an electoral coup. Sarah Kimani with the details.
After a 2-week delay in declaring the results of the largely disorganized polls, the Electoral Commission President Corneille Nangaa announced that Tshisekedi had received more than 7 million votes compared to about 6 million for Fayulu and about 4.4 million for Kabila's hand-picked candidate Emmanuel Ramazani Shadary.
Monsieur Tshisekedi Tshilombo Felix.
Nangaa said just over 47% of voters participated in the election and that Tshisekedi won with 38.57% of the votes. Fayulu came second despite leading in most recent opinion polls. He has described the results as an electoral coup. The results can still be challenged at the Constitutional Court. Voting in 3 towns in the east of the country have been pushed to March. At least 1.2 million people did not take part in the polls due to the decision linked to the deadly Ebola virus and unrest. According to the Reuters news agency, a report from Congo-based Simosel Observer Mission said it witnessed 52 major irregularities in the 101 vote counting centers that it observed, including people tampering with the results. Tshisekedi is the son of the late veteran opposition leader Etienne Tshisekedi. He now heads the largest opposition party in the country, the Union for Democracy and Social Progress, which was founded by his father, who died in February 2017. Initially, Tshisekedi backed Fayulu, but later announced that he would be running for the top seat, following protests from his supporters. Now he's set to take over from Kabila, who has been in power for 18 years, a seat that eluded his father for close to 40 years.
To discuss this, I'm joined by SABC Correspondent Jack Parrock. Good evening, Jack. A very bloody history between Belgium and Congo. How's the former colonizer reacting to these election results?
Well, certainly indeed. There is obviously a history of colonization with the DRC only getting its freedom in the 60s with Patrice Lumumba. Now, we've heard from the Belgian Foreign Minister, Didier Reynders. They are questioning the results of this election and questioning the announcement of Tshisekedi as the president. They are a temporary member of the UN Security Council at the moment, as South Africa obviously is, and he says that he's going to bring it up in this UN Security Council meetings. He also has been joined by the French Foreign Minister, Jean-Yves Le Drian, who has said that he believed that the runner-up, Martin Fayulu, should have been announced as the president. So there is questions being arisen here in Brussels about the election result. The European Union has also responded, saying that they wish that the fallout from the election, that everybody should remain calm and prevent going down any roads towards violence.
We've also heard the Belgian Foreign Minister saying that he's waiting to see Congolese people's reactions. Give us an insight into what the relationship between those two countries is like now.
Well, there are a lot of pressure in the Congolese community here in Belgium for the Belgians to accept their responsibility for colonization, the colonial power that was very, very savage under King Leopold III. There was, over 10 million Congolese people were killed as part of that colonial rule, famously very savage. And recently, for instance, we've had the Africa Museum here in Brussels reopen, and they're trying to face up to Belgium's colonial history, although, as I say, some in the Congolese community say that that can't be done until the DRC is repatriated, given money, basically, by the Belgian government. That's unlikely to happen, that any Belgian government would do that. The Belgians say that they're trying to come to terms with it. And obviously at election times there's a strong interest, firstly because of the amount of Congolese people that live in Belgium, but also because of the historic ties between the two countries.
The results of this election, if confirmed, is said to be the first democratic transfer of power since independence from Belgium in 1960. What sort of celebrations were you seeing last night into this morning and today?
Well, obviously there has been some approval of this, but everybody is very tentative at the moment with this this result, with this announcement. There are obviously some in the Congolese community who support Felix Tshisekedi, who wanted him to be president. There are political views, different political views across the political spectrum of the Congolese diaspora here in Brussels. Some are celebrating and some will be watching a little bit more tentatively. Everyone obviously is hoping that all of it remains peaceful and that the democratic transfer of power can happen in a peaceful manner.
Let's go back to Belgium's reaction to that, saying they're going to use their seat, their temporary seat on the UN Security Council, to get clarity on these results. Do you know if there's any other possible mechanisms they might use in order to try and get more clarity on these results, which were a surprise to a lot of people?
Well, what they'll ask is basically for the UN Security Council probably to launch an investigation. They might do that. We don't know for certain, but that's one thing that they can do, and that would obviously need support from other countries. The other countries of the UN and the European Union, indeed, will be hoping that this can be done in a peaceful manner and a way that can be discussed and diplomatically resolved if there is any disputes. Now, how far Belgium will go with this, how far it will be supported by other countries in the UN, we'll have to wait and see. At the moment, it's all eyes peeled. Interestingly, I think one of the things that we have to look at as well is what will happen if he is announced as full president, if he takes the presidency, because his father, Etienne Tshisekedi, is here in Belgium. Currently, he died obviously in 2017, but his body has remained in a fridge here because the government of Joseph Kabila would not allow it to be repatriated back to the DRC. So that's something that they will be looking at. So that's something that will have to happen diplomatically between Belgium and the DRC if he is announced fully as the president.
Jack Parrock, our correspondent in Brussels, giving us an update there on the Congolese and Belgian reaction to those provisional election results. We're going to be having a panel discussion later on. We're going to take you to Kinshasa to find out what exactly the mood is